So instead of having to do this, and this, I basically just press one button. So I want quarter speed. I want 4 times speed. I want regular speed.
Hi, this is Andre. One of the secret weapons of advanced MIDI control is taking a process that would normally require several different button presses and consolidating that process down into a string of MIDI commands that can be launched with one single press on a MIDI controller. For instance, many looping devices won't let you access certain functions while Overdub is open. The phrase sampler in the Hologram Microcosm, for example, can't change the loop speed or playback direction while it's in Overdub. You have to close Overdub, execute the function you want, and then turn Overdub back on to continue adding new layers to the loop. In this video, we're going to look at programming the Morningstar to do all of those things more or less instantly with a single button press so that we can access reverse and Vari-Speed while effectively remaining in Overdub the whole time.
All right, we're going to record an initial loop on the phrase looper. All right, green means that it's in play. If we want to overdub, it turns yellow. So now I'm going to add another couple of things on here. All right, now if we want to reverse the phrase looper and we press the reverse button, nothing happens. That's because in order to go into reverse, Overdub has to be closed. So we have to go back into play mode. Then when we press reverse, now we're in reverse on the phrase looper. And now we can overdub new stuff while it's playing backwards. And here again, if we want to turn the looper so it's playing forwards again, right now pressing reverse isn't doing anything because we're still in overdub. So come out of overdub, light is green telling us we're in play. Now, so a lot of looping devices are like this. A lot of them won't let you do certain types of functions unless you are not in overdub. It's not the end of the world, but it's a bit of a drag. So what I did was put together a custom thing on the Morningstar that lets me basically go directly into reverse from overdub. Let's record a new loop from scratch. And in fact, let's use the Morningstar record button to do that. So all right. Now we're going to go into overdub. Now I'm going to press loop forward. And now we're backwards, even though overdub was open. Now I'm going to press loop reverse again. And now suddenly we can go back and forth. While overdub is open. So how did we do this? So if we look at the Morningstar editor, we can see that this is the patch for doing reverse while you're in overdub. And the very first message that gets sent is CC29, which corresponds to looper play. Right after that, we have CC23, which corresponds to reverse. And then right after that, we have CC number 30, which is overdub. So basically, all of these commands are being sent right after one another. So what's happening is, right before the reverse command, we put in a command telling the phrase sampler to go into play. So that means that whenever we press that button, it's sending a message that puts the phrase sampler into play right before it reverses the loop. Then right after it reverses the loop, it goes into overdub. Now this all happens basically instantaneously. If we play it and listen for a start and stop point, let's see if we can hear one. And this introduces another thing we haven't talked about yet, which is called toggle mode. And toggle mode lets you switch back and forth between two different values on different button presses. So if you look over here, these first three commands are set to position 1. That's for the first time that you press the switch. And when toggle mode is on, it sends that the first time. When you press it a second time, it sends a whole different string of commands that you can see over here. So on position 2, we have basically the same thing in reverse, no pun intended. So when you hit position 2 and toggle to the other value, the first thing that's happening is, once again, you're going into play. So if you're in overdub, this is telling the phrase sampler to go into play. Right after that, we're going into reverse. The main difference here is that this is set to go forwards, whereas this value up here is set to go backwards. Basically, 23 is the CC number for reverse. If it's above 64, if it's 64 or higher, then it will go backwards. If it's below 64, if it's 63 or lower, then it will play it forwards. So we have a play command, a reverse or go forwards command, and then an overdub command. So again, if we want to go into reverse out of overdub, we have to close overdub, press reverse, then press overdub again. If we want to go back to forwards, then again, close overdub, reverse, open overdub. This basically does all three of those things each time you press it. And what's also nice is when you have toggle functionality, you can see you have two different names indicating the current state of the function. So if the loop is backwards, it says loop rev. If it's playing forwards, it says loop forward. Let's look at a similar thing using the Vari-Speed control on the phrase looper. So I'm going to record something new from scratch here. This is going to be pretty free time, I think. And come out of overdub. So through the physical interface, if you want to access Vari-Speed, you hold down the Shift Select button while turning the time knob. So that's half speed, 1/4 speed, double time, and 4 times, I believe. Now, as with reverse, you can't do Vari-Speed while overdub is open. So if I try and do that, hold it down, you can hear we're not doing it. That's because overdub is open. Close overdub, now we can do it. All right, so I'm gonna change pages on the Morningstar. And now we have different loop speeds set up on A, B, C, D, and E. And I'm going to open overdub. So basically we're doing the same thing here. It's the same idea. If we look at the command here, if we look at the half speed one, the first command that we have here on the half speed button is that we are sending CC29, which again is going into play. So this is basically telling the phrase looper, okay, we're in overdub, basically now we need to go into play because we're about to do Vari-Speed, and you can't do Vari-Speed directly out of overdub. So that's turning it to play. 18 is the Vari-Speed control. So A, B, C, D, and E all have different fixed values for that continuous controller, for the Vari-Speed, or I should say the stepped Vari-Speed control. And they're all basically doing the same thing. They're sending a play command, then they're doing Vari-Speed, and then they're sending an overdub command. So let's overdub a little more. Let's see if we can actually hear any like variations or breaks or pops or clicks or anything if we overdub while we change the speed. Yeah, there's a bit of weirdness going on. Not a problem as far as I'm concerned. So for me, it's much nicer to not have to come out of overdub, hold down the select shift button, change Vari-Speed, get to the Vari-Speed level that I want, release the button, then go back into overdub. So instead of having to do this, and this, I basically just press one button. So I want quarter speed. I want 4 times speed. I want regular speed. Double speed. Half speed. Regular speed. Let's go back to quarter speed. I love quarter speed. You know what? Let's reverse this too. I'm gonna do it manually. There we go.